Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all doing amazing, my beautiful divers. You already know we have another deep dive today. With that being said, for context, these videos are strictly for entertainment purposes only. Don't believe everything you hear or see on this video. Do your own research on everything. With that being said, oxygen levels.
Oxygen levels are at 100% and navigational systems online.
Set a course to Dark Waters 9.
Can someone tell me how the icicles on my hummingbird feeder grew sideways and in the shape of a hummingbird? It smells like hummingbird too.
She said it smells like a hummingbird too. Wow. What if this hummingbird passed away last year or something, and this is like a silhouette of him just chilling there? I mean, what are the odds? This is going the exact opposite direction, and it's on her hummingbird feeder. How amazing is that? I actually have these butterfly bushes that butterflies come and get nectar from, and I see hummingbirds occasionally come. They're so small though. They're probably that big. You would mistake them for a butterfly sometimes. So this hummingbird is massive. This is like the grandmother hummingbird right here. How amazing is this? It's almost like water is alive, like some type of water memory going on here.
He then looked at the beakers with the water in it, again, fresh water, closed his eyes and just thought. He just pictured in his head the beaker of water, and he thought, thank you. And this was done in different languages with different people because he can't speak all the languages. The water was frozen, crystals would test under a microscope, and here you go again, thank you. It changed the molecular structure of the water. Now, let me show you a little chart here. Let's put these up. You can see what happened when the word wisdom was used. It's a different molecular structure. Let's look at what happens when truth, the word truth, is used, either as a word, either as a spoken word or a thought. Look at the word eternal. And again, it doesn't matter if it's in English or what language. Look at angel. Now look at I love you. So if you say I love you to someone or even think it, look at the beautiful structure that's created in water with that frequency, either in words, spoken words, written words, or thought. Now, let's look at this. You fool. If you call somebody you fool or think of somebody you fool, look what it does to the water. You've cursed the water. Look at you make me sick. Look at what happens to the structure of water with the words or thought or spoken words you make me sick. Look at the word evil, what it does to water. Now, here's a before and after photo. Polluted water before prayer. That same polluted water an hour later after prayer. When you pray, you're changing the structure of water. When you bless something, you're changing the structure of water. When you have words written in your house on the wall and water sees those words, the structure of water is changed for the positive or the negative. When you're playing music and words are being spoken, oh, I'm gonna you up, blah, 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 blah. It's having an adverse
I didn't think he was going to say that.
effect on the water structure. When you have beautiful music being played with beautiful lyrics, it's having a positive effect on the water. When you think positive thoughts, it's having a positive effect on the water. You are 70% water, remember? Your brain is 85% water, remember? When you curse somebody, you're adversely affecting them because it's affecting the water in their body. When you send blessings to someone, it's positively affecting them because it's changing the molecular structure of the water in their body. But here's the good news and the bad news. When you curse somebody, yes, it's adversely affecting them, but the research shows that it has a 100 times more negative effect on the water in your body. He then looked at the beakers.
Like that old saying goes, when you point at somebody, you got 3 fingers pointed right back at you. So like while you're yelling at somebody, I try not to even yell anymore because I can feel it in my chest. Like we weren't really meant to yell for somebody unless they're like in danger. I feel like unless somebody, you see something's about to happen, you like, yo, watch out. That should really be the only time you should be yelling. And as far as like cursing or like really going after somebody, I just don't feel right. And the other saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. Man, that couldn't be so far from the truth. Oh my goodness. It's like words are spelling. You know what I'm saying? I try not to get too deep into that myself because it's like I'm literally watching everything I say, but you kind of do. Activate submersible. Live and die by the tongue. That's Proverbs 18:21. All right, we are looking at Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So this is why I try to be careful what I say. Like with spelling, it's a spell, like I said, when you got 1 finger pointed at someone, you got 3 pointed back at you. You know what I'm saying? You just always want to treat people with love and respect, no matter who they are, honestly, because you don't want that vibration inside you messing up your 70% water, that living water. Woo-hoo! That living water. Now we're cooking that living water. When you hear something from someone else and it's just vibrating with you and it makes sense and it's refreshing, that's that living water from the Most High communicating to you, called the Ruach on a quantum level. But that's for another day. One thing I can say I learned from elementary school is that the number 1 rule they always used to say, treat others how you want to be treated. Do you remember that? Like you'll get in every single classroom, that would probably be number 1 or number 2 or number 3. Treat others how you want to be treated. I don't want someone talking negative to me all the time. Maybe this is just too simple to say, but I feel like I have to say it. Nobody wants to be yelled at, being talked to negative, especially, that's just my thoughts. I don't get any joy from someone making fun of, talking negative, speaking bad. I want the exact opposite for everyone. So just for dwelling in that space and trying to project that on someone else just isn't in my wheelhouse, and I just don't understand it at all. Like, I understand people can get mad and stuff, but wanting to do that, wake up, these people I can't stay on you, it's you gotta get them demons up out of you.
Alright, so what's the chip thing in the hand?
So anybody who scans their hand who comes in has an Amazon One account. And if they have an Amazon One account, it's going to whatever could be linked to their Amazon account profile. Whereas anybody who's inserting a card here is actually coming into the Hudson store, even though they're technically the same store.
And there's only, 4 in the United States?
There's only 4 Amazon Just Walk Out stores in just the United States. They've opened up a few new Go Fresh stores, so you can still use alternative payments there. But for Just Walk Out, walk-in technology, it's just the 4. One's going to be in New York, one's in Los Angeles, one's going to be in Chicago, and one's right here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Fantastic, perfect. Thank you so much. Alright, so what's the chip thing in the hand?
Did you hear him? The chip thing in the hand. I know people theorize about the mark of the beast, but this is definitely not something I would want, to put inside my hand to pay for stuff. No. It seems like everything's going according to plan. They're getting rid of the penny. What's next? Now they got these, trying to make it easier. And I just had an evil thought, man. Imagine a robber, someone that's ruthless, that's trying to get your chip. It's gonna be like on when they was trying to get that bug out on the Matrix. Remember when Neo was in the back seat? It's gonna be something similar to that. When people trying to rob you, scan his hand. You know what I'm saying? There's the chip. You know what I'm saying? It's, man. That's disturbing.
Did you guys hear what the TSA is doing now to try to get people to use the real ID or digital ID to get through the frickin' airport? This is exactly how they unroll these things. They do not do a mandatory thing that gets pushback. Instead, there's an advantage to doing it or a disadvantage to not doing it until enough people do it, and then they'll make it mandatory. Listen to this.
No real ID, no passport, no problem. The TSA has proposed a new rule where passengers traveling without either form of identification would pay a fee of $18 in order to have their identity verified by a new biometric kiosk system. The fee would then allow passengers to access TSA checkpoints for 10 days. The public comment period for the proposed rule begins tomorrow.
It's about convenience. You don't need it. It just costs a bit of money if you don't have it. People who are financially savvy will say, well, I'll just get the thing. I'm not paying $18 if I don't have to. And then once everyone has it, then it's a lot easier to manage. And here's the crazy part. Notice when she said public, proposal, public is going to have their opinion on the matter soon, right? Well, this is an absolutely ingenious plan. It's called the Delphi technique, DELPHI, where they invite the public in to give their questions and concerns and see if this is going to fly. But it's all for show. It's going through. It doesn't matter what the public is going to have a concern or a question about at the freaking meeting. They're putting this thing through. But they make it seem like they're open to suggestions. Like, oh, if anyone has a different idea, like, let me know. That's not what's supposed to happen. They're planning on doing this. They're pretending that you have a say in it. The only way we'd have a say in it is if everyone said no. That's the only say we have. Not a couple people at a board meeting suggesting otherwise. Now, for those who don't think this is a big deal with the real ID and the digital ID, this is part of a plan to make you think it's about convenience, but it's about total, utter control over every aspect of your life. Every part of it being databased, collected, inventoried, managed, and monitored. We have to say no to this. Comment your thoughts below and follow for more.
That's a good point. You know, like those chips we watched on the previous video. What's to say those ain't getting all your biometrics or a charging port for all the nanobots at your location at all times? You know what I'm saying? We really don't know what's all inside those chips. Keep your head on a straight swivel. If you're enjoying this video, please consider to take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button. If you're new around here, it helps the channel out. Let's continue on this deep dive. Who actually controls everything?
I found this book at the local antique shop yesterday, and it was written in 1926, The Secret World Government or the Hidden Hand, Unrevealed in History, 100 Historical Mysteries Explained. There's a secret government, and they are of the nature of the individuals who are taking over now, the blues with a J, that they are the ones that have been running society because they made a pact with a god. He calls it Satan, but that's his position. But I want to read to you this very specific, I have to be careful about what, I really was trying to debate whether to put this on the internet at all because it could really get me in trouble. But this particular page, I just want you to see this particular part, talking about proof of the existence of this invisible world government, this hidden hand. He says, the world is governed by very different personages from what is imagined by those who are not behind the scenes, i.e., not by kings and ministers. Disraeli said not others, but different, which means not the kings, ministers, or other similar men, but absolutely different, possibly even of a different race. Who they are must be known first of all, and only then can we control them and establish peace, but not before. You know how I'm always saying, I'm calling them creatures and creeps, and I'm saying they're not human. I don't know what they are. And this has been my biggest reason around this. I ain't unifying because I don't know what these things are. This apparently has been known. And this has nothing to do with religion. I'm not talking about religion or race. I'm talking about like a species of a soul or something that's on this planet. And that's what he's talking about here. Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor, perceived the existence of invisible forces, but could not or did not wish to formulate them and called them imponderabilia, powers which no one could fathom. I found this book at the local.
That is incredibly interesting. I never heard that word before. Imponderabilia. You learn something every day on this channel, don't you? That sounds like fallen angel magic. And the Iron Chancellor, they took that Star Wars sound like they knew about this as well. There's a lot of truth in these science fiction movies. You know, every time I'm watching one now, it's like, what are they trying to tell us? Star Wars has quite a bit of gems in it, honestly. Believe it or not. Dark Waters 9, believe it or not. You remember Ripley's Believe It or Not? This is Dark Waters 9, believe it or not. That used to be my favorite show growing up. I would watch reruns. I would watch that as much as possible, anytime it can come on. That and Fear Factor with Joe Rogan. Man, we had some good TV back in the day, didn't we? Why does everything feel like it's happening all at once in 2026? Remember, for awareness and entertainment purposes only, take this with a grain of salt.
The speech is already written, and we might just get hit with the biggest reveal of the century. According to a UK filmmaker, a Trump administration insider just told him that a full disclosure speech is planned for July 8th, 2026, where Donald Trump will reveal to the world that we humans are not alone, that aliens are real. The filmmaker Mark Christopher Lee, who's directed his own UFO documentaries like UFO Encounters of the Fifth Kind, claims he personally trusts his insider source, who has been extensively vetted for legitimacy, who says that Trump's speech has already been written, set for July 8th, the anniversary date of the Roswell UFO crash, where he will tell the world for the first time in history that extraterrestrials and UFOs are among us. Conspiracy theorists have been on an absolutely generational run lately, but given Trump's history of being the loose cannon that he is, it's highly possible this disclosure may come out even earlier, or maybe not at all now that this insider has leaked it to the world. It is interesting to note, however, that Steven Spielberg's next big film, Disclosure Day, which comes out just a month before on June 12, 2026, is also about exactly this, a global revelation of extraterrestrial life. Have the UFO transparency hearings, the Nazca mummies, and the normalization of alien sightings in the news over the past few years, and now this movie, all part of their plan to warm us up to quite possibly the biggest revelation in human history. The speech is already written.
July 8th. We'll see. I look forward to it. But my thing is, are they aliens or are they demons? Operating in a skin suit.
The elite know of a mechanism that is in existence, a very curious property about our world. It is the Phoenix phenomenon. The elite know of a mechanism that is in existence, a very curious property about our world. It is the Phoenix phenomenon. It is the apex of my research. The Phoenix phenomenon only activates when humans have reached a level of sophistication and enlightenment that the elite can no longer maintain a control over or exercise any authority over.
Well, I feel like we're getting close. You know, a lot of people are waking up. You know, definitely questioning things, you know, making critical thinkers, keeping your head on a swivel, if you will.
That's like a 3D thing. I can't get my... Look at this. That's weird. So weird. It's crazy. It's like 3D. That's like a 3D thing.
Even though this jet stream is man-made, it's still beautiful to me to see the shadow, the rosy colors from the sky. I'm very appreciative to our creator for giving us a beautiful canvas above our heads. You know, we just look up, beautiful canvas, you know, when it isn't sprayed up. But man, even the stars at night, you know, you can see all types of stuff just by looking up. You know, thank you, Father, for everything you've done for us.
We found the ice wall. Check this out. We found the ice wall.
That might be it. But how would you sail through it? You would need the Summer's Gate. Like if you keep going around this edge, there's supposed to be an opening somewhere. And that's how you get to Agartha. I'm surprised them battleships ain't rolled on them for the Antarctic Treaty.
Okay, you're not going to believe what I just found out about Antarctica. I'm serious. This is what Google's AI is suggesting is absolutely shocking. So these are images of the ice wall. You may be thinking the ice wall, you mean a chunk of Antarctica? Well, we'll get to that. But I wanted to mention first the Antarctic Treaty and the shocking nature of the fact that all these countries, which seemingly are always beefing with each other, trying to one-up the other, we're competing in the global market, GDP and all that, but they all agree to not touch Antarctica. And in fact, to enforce basically restricted access, restricted areas. You can't fly to Antarctica. There's a couple places that I should clarify. You can fly to Antarctica with a permit and an approval to go to a certain part of it or certain parts of it. But you can't just go, even if you're multimillionaire, you got a jet that could take you all the way over Antarctica. It is restricted airspace. And it's very shocking, the excuse that they have. And then if you've ever been tinkering around on Google Maps, you'll notice large parts of Antarctica are completely blurred out. Why is that? Look what Google's AI said. Okay, so look at this. Why is Antarctica blurred out on Google Earth? Well, because many things are blurred, like military and defense facilities. Although I thought it was supposed to be like a peaceful treaty there. You can't really do anything, but militarily. Anyways, the vast majority of Antarctica is also in low resolution due to bright, often featureless ice and snow, making high-resolution imaging both difficult and largely unnecessary. I don't know how it would be difficult, though. With the amount of satellites we allegedly have floating around, they could easily just take a bunch of pictures in 2 seconds, probably, and map the whole thing. But the next part is crazy. Why is Antarctica not allowed?
There are no satellites. Man, it's nippy out here.
To be explored. They say human activity and machines could disrupt the delicate balance that exists there. So you're telling me we can't go explore Antarctica because of the delicate balance that we could disrupt, but we can chop down the rainforest, dump 1 billion pounds of glyphosate, a toxic pesticide, in North America per year. We can spray heavy metals from the sky to increase the climate's health, whatever they say about that. But Antarctica is just an off, no hands, no go zone. Now, just putting it out there, the alternative to the official story of what's going on at some ice wall is that we've been totally lied to about what we're even living on. This is our known Earth. There's a ice wall and several other ice walls and other continents. And I know you may be thinking, there's no way. I'm not saying there is a way. There could be no way. Of course, if you grew up watching Universal Studios, NASA, space missions, Apollo and all that. But let's just say we've been lied to about so much, don't put it past them to have lied about the very nature of what we are even freaking standing on right now.
This is probably where the dragons are, if you ask me. Soon as the 5G, 3G, probably when they started 3G, or even doing radio, like your local FM, AM radios, the first MK Ultra, you know what I'm saying? That's probably when all the dragons was like, look, I'm not vibrating to these frequencies. We're super sensitive to this. You know, we got to rotate. So they migrated like birds. If you got these massive creatures, they migrated like birds to new land. That's something to think about, guys. But could this be the new frontier? You know? It's I can't get enough of it. This is like exciting to me. And something else to think about, man. How scary would it be to traverse over this even if you did have an airship? Your boy really be thinking about getting up out of Middle Earth, man, but it's tough. I don't have an airship, okay? But if you did have an airship, if one false move, you're doomed. You gotta hope your etheric charger is working at 100% and you got a backup. I know y'all be watching this like, this dude crazy. No, I'm not.
Toxic workplaces don't fire you. They set you up to fail. This isn't underperformance. It's engineered disengagement. Legally, it's called constructive dismissal. It's when an employer intentionally creates unbearable conditions, pushing you to resign voluntarily. And when it happens, you might not even realize you're being set up. Here are 5 signs you're being forced to quit. Number 1, your responsibilities are stripped away. Number 2, You're accused of not engaging while they're isolating you. Number 3, your manager suddenly micromanages every task. Number 4, performance standards change without explanation. And number 5, you're repeatedly blamed for things that are clearly outside of your control. Here's the goal: to pressure you into quitting so they can avoid paying severance, unemployment claims, or potential lawsuits. You're not imagining it. Document everything and consult an employment lawyer to help you understand your rights so you can hold them accountable and exit strategically. Toxic workplaces.
What I would do was, if I had a toxic manager and they put me in this situation, which I believe they do the same thing in Japan. They don't fire anybody in Japan. They do what this gentleman just said. But if they put me in this situation, I would look for another job and put in my 2 weeks. Who can afford a lawyer? You know what I'm saying? Normally the jobs I'm working was the temp service special anyway. You know, steal toes, take out that trash, cover him for his 15-minute lunch. You know what I'm saying? Those were the vibes. Fork truck certified, stand up, sit down, propane, you name it. To put in 16-hour days, and they'll give you an hour for free if you work 15 straight at the paper mill. If you were okay to go, that paper mill, that was on some deadliest catch type of work, man. You really get a camaraderie with your co-workers on that paper mill, because you know paper be exploding, going everywhere. You know, that's a tough job. I kept telling them the whole time we're working, man, we need to be on the deadliest catch. This is a tough job. Going inside those machines, ripping that hot paper out. You got roaches crawling everywhere because they eat the residue from the paper. It stank. That was a nasty job, but you could write your own check. You can work 80 hours a week. You know, as soon as you get home, it'll be time to go to work in a couple hours. But hey, that paycheck was fat. Your boy was there. I still got my steel toes. I was that coworker making fun of my other coworkers for only doing their regular shift. I'm like, you ain't sign up for OT. Y'all walking the wrong way. Come get this money. Your boy trying to get healthy, y'all. Smoothie on deck. I only put it's only frozen berries and orange juice. It's a healthy breakfast, you know. I can't be eating Jack's pizzas, frozen pizzas, and fried chicken all the damn time. I've been feeling it, man. I gotta do better.
Ever notice how the people who have no idea what they're doing somehow keep getting promoted? That's not random. That's what happens in workplaces that reward visibility instead of actual competence. So here's what's happening. Most organizations don't promote the strongest performers. They promote the safest ones. The people who never rock the boat. The people who make upper management feel comfortable. The people who nod, smile, and keep everything smooth and on the surface. Because real confidence, real skill, and real leadership, that makes weak leaders nervous. When you're genuinely good at your job, you unintentionally expose how much control the people above you don't have. So instead of building strong leaders, these systems recycle the weak ones. They reward the loyalty over the leadership, the compliance over the vision, and the comfort over the growth. And once that cycle starts, every layer protects the layer above it. And the real talent either burns out or walks away. So that's how mediocrity becomes the culture. So when you look around and think, why does every manager here seem clueless? It's not bad luck. It's structural. They're not failing upward by accident. They're being rewarded for being unthreatening. And that is why real leadership feels so rare. Ever notice how the people who have no idea what they're doing?
This lady just spoke facts on top of facts. I have noticed that at a couple places where hard work really wasn't rewarded. It was the people that were, being buddy with the higher ups. You gotta have the support of your peers in order to move up. They could care less how much you know. It's how much they could teach you and how much they like you. Because if you're, hey, we're going out for drinks after, we're going to go grab a bite to eat after work. Come join me. Sure, I got nothing else better to do. That's what they want. They want you hanging out. You'll move up real fast. Hey, man, we had a blast last time, man. We're going to do it again. You're a funny guy. That's how they do it, man. You got to be buddy with the higher ups. But one thing I'll admit, the paper mill, man, when you have to work hard, like if you're at a job that requires a first hand, second hand, third hand, and everyone literally counts on everyone for production, I've seen people that work hard move up on those type of hard working environments. But on a corporate structured level, where it's office and you on the computer most of the time, you better bet your bottom dollar, bucko, that whoever's coolest with higher up, they getting up first. Drop your thoughts in the comments below if you've seen this before. I've seen people, hard workers, qualified with degrees, and somebody that just came in that had them all laughing, that was hanging out with them after work, got the job, the new production manager first, before homie that's been working 12 years. You're a good worker. You're a little too good at your job. We need you working at your spot. I remember this dude venting to me. Like, this was my first day working as a temp at this company. I ain't gonna say the name, but this dude was telling me, yeah, that's how that guy, you see that guy there, he got up instantly, But there is a certain time in your life you gotta look in the mirror and say, what am I really worth and what do I really want to do? Make a plan and make it happen.
If you broadcast what you desire and what you want on the right frequency band, in the right way, it will vibrate molecules in the physical universe and change the attraction of these molecules so that what you want starts to physically materialize. And the way it physically materializes is the universe creates circumstances, conditions, situations, events, and people that will all go together miraculously so that what you want happens and what you desire to attain actually materializes. If you broadcast
it to your essence by yourself on repeat. Let that continuously be on repeat, what you want. Don't go out telling everybody, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No, keep it to yourself. Broadcast it to yourself. You are impregnating that idea and it begins to manifest when you continuously do that. I see what he's talking about. Man, this was the perfect clip right after I said what I said, wasn't it? This video is low-key cooking, y'all. I feel like all of us are going through these problems. We're grown on this channel. We ain't gonna care about no damn Grammys. Did y'all see that? I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I saw a couple crazy what people was wearing at the Grammys. They was dressing crazy as hell. I don't even want to show it, but worse than a bikini, And what they was talking about, all of them were talking about the same thing. I ain't gonna say it, but I saw like 3 or 4 clips where they're all saying, it just feels like an agenda, like something that they pushing on us. I'm the type of person, if I keep seeing a lot of people, especially on the news and celebrities, saying the same thing, I think the opposite. Like, why are they doing this? What are they trying to hide? What is the true purpose of them and everyone saying this? Did they managers tell them to say this? Is this all scripted? What are they trying to hide? All right, guys, if you thought I didn't have another excellent specimen for you today, think again. There's millions of specimens out there, and we're going to find the best. Wow, look at this. How you using? Interesting. It doesn't say the name, but if I had to guess, we got some type of quartz. But those red things around it, it looks looks like it got like a horror aspect to it, like a, you know, like a scary horror. If I had to rate this piece, I would give it a 7.7. But I feel like it could be a little bit higher. I would do a 7.7, and I would call this the Cursed Stone. What would you guys name this? I know you guys can do better than Cursed Stone. That's just the best I got. You know, that orange just around it gives it that horror feel. Like, not really pretty, but interesting and cool to look at. Alright guys, that's all we have for today's video. If you made it this far, the code word for today is hard work. Go ahead and drop hard work in the comments below. That lets me know you made it all the way through the video, you watched it to the end, and I just want to truly say thank you for your support. It means the world to me, and I love you guys. You know, I'm getting back to my old swag again every single day. I know you guys remember that, but we're going to get back to that. I'm gonna try to get a schedule for my live so you guys can expect certain days for me to go live over a jet ski chuck, so it's just not whenever I have time. I'm gonna make time and make a schedule for that, so be on the lookout for that. That's coming soon. We got a lot of exciting things that's coming to Dark Waters 9 and jet ski chuck, and I'm just excited to be on this journey with you guys. And yeah, this was the most mysterious TikToks on the internet today. See you later.